Most were well-to-do, handsome, and on the make. They hung around the San Juan casino and hotels, providing company for the rich, lonely women. Girl, you ain't what? Do you not understand that this nigga is a gigolo? He is out there in Santo Domingo selling dick or renting dick. You the only dummy that's buying. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. For all of you who have already contributed large amounts or small amounts, I truly appreciate it because it's you all that contribute to the Cash App that tells me that you believe in what we're doing over here on the YouTube. Okay? Not that my subscribers don't matter, but when it's time to pay a bill, that Cash App does help. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Let me say this to my monthly paying members. I so appreciate you all. You are another part of the reason as to why this channel continues. Because like I said, when it's time for me to pay a bill, you all always come through for me. Now, let's continue reading Mary Wilson's Supreme Faith. Right here, there's Rose, Roro. And let me see, it's Lulu. So keep in mind, when you're hearing grunts and stuff like that, that's Lulu and Roro. Like that. That right there. Don't charge it to my heart. Just know it's just my puppies. Well, Lulu going to be 4 January 14th. Roro is going to be 1 in May, honey. But that Lulu is always going to be my puppy. Always. The next week, Pedro and I were going to Santo Domingo to meet his parents. As the date of departure drew nearer, Pedro became increasingly restless. The night before our trip, he told me the truth about his parents' identity. Pedro confessed that Mr. Rogue was indeed a banker, but not his real father. Apparently, Rogue had taken Pedro under his wing when he was a young man, and for whatever reason, Pedro contrived an extravagant fantasy about who he really was. In many ways, he reminded me of the hero of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, a poor boy who recast his life in the mold of a wealthy mentor. Didn't I say that movie? What was that movie that I said earlier? And I ain't even read this part yet. I'm just reading this. It's like Catch Me If You Can. Wasn't that the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, y'all? In truth, Pedro was raised by his mother and stepfather, a politically powerful Dominican. The Dominican Republic occupies roughly 2/3 of an island, Hispaniola. Haiti makes up the 1/3. That's why the Haitians don't like the Dominicans, because they be saying that you niggas think you better. The country has a long history of colonial rule and dictatorship, alternating with revolutions and democratic movements. The few days we spent with his mother, stepfather, sister, and brother were pleasant but awkward, and in one sense surprising. Pedro was so dark skinned. I'd assumed he was black and expected his family to be as well. Imagine my shock when I saw that they were white. No, that ain't white. What? Pedro was not black, or at least not an Afro-American black person. He was like Afro-Latino. He had black skin, but underneath it, he was a true Latin. Boy, did I feel like a dummy, especially in view of how strongly I felt about marrying a black man. There went my perfect fairy tale ending. Well, it was too late to worry about that now. We were in love. Visiting Santo Domingo was fascinating. His family took me all over the small island. We swam in the crystal clear water of the Atlantic, strolled through the swank hotels and casinos. Pedro was the island boy who'd come home and made good. After all, I was a great catch, a wealthy singing star. I.e., you the bag, baby. You the bag. Married the bag Wilson. En route to Santo Domingo, we had stopped off in Puerto Rico, where I had met Pedro's friends. Most were well-to-do, handsome, and on the make. They hung around the San Juan casino and hotels, providing company for the rich, lonely women. Girl, you ain't... What? Do you not understand that this nigga is a gigolo? He is out there in Santo Domingo selling dick or renting dick. You the only dummy that's buying, girl. En route to Santo Domingo, we had stopped off in Puerto Rico, where I had met Pedro's friends. Most were well-to-do, handsome, and on the make. They hung around the San Juan casinos and hotels, providing company for rich, lonely women. I discovered I wasn't the first famous woman whose path Pedro had crossed. Part of me couldn't believe it, but part of me did. This is the part of the story that be irritating me, because y'all down in the comments told me that the dude Pedro used to mess with either one of the 3 degrees or one of the emotions. Whoever you are, you reconfirm what you said. Okay. Now, if I was Mary Wilson, I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? You like girl groups or something? You like, what is that going on? That's your choice? Like, to me, that's predatorial, but we already know he a predator. She just don't know he a predator. Another thing is, Use in the comments had said that Mary Wilson and Pancho Pedro was stealing the Supreme's money. Let's see if Mary Wilson puts that in the book, because what's frustrating to me about her is that she's not completely honest. If you're not going to tell the whole story, girl, don't tell the damn story to make yourself look a certain way. I'm not pissed off at her. I still respect her as a human being and an artist. I just would prefer if she would be more forthcoming. Y'all know that's Lulu and Road snoring. On the flight back to Los Angeles, I had one last impulse to dump Pedro and save myself. But she ain't do shit. She kept it moving with Pedro. After several months of waiting for promised jobs to come through friends, Pedro finally decided to finish his law education here in the United States. Willie and Pedro were at each other constantly. Willie, then 14 years old, was trying to establish his own identity and rebelled. So what Mary Wilson didn't see was that Pedro was a bitch-ass motherfucker. He was a bitch-ass nigga, and he was a bully, okay? So what he would do is instill his wrath, and bully Willie. Although you're my man, we want to discuss how you parent my child. This is my child, okay? We're going to discuss this, and we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. And then again, you're not paying no bills around here. You can't discipline shit around here. You ain't this boy's daddy. Technically, I'm not his mama, but I'm his guardian. You don't pay no bills around here to be talking shit to my son. My son probably bring in more money than you do, bitch. Having suffered a strict, unreasonable upbringing myself, I was sensitive to Willie. And you gonna let this nigga come in your house and yell in your baby's face? Yeah, right. Although I firmly believe in discipline when appropriate, it has to be mixed with understanding and love. And Willie was not an average child. He was bright and caring, but needed extra time and patience. I knew when I took him there would be special challenges ahead for us both. But I really believed in my heart that love would help us overcome them all. Now I wondered. Pedro was determined to control Willie and did not brook the smallest infraction of the rules he set down. He set down? How the fuck is he setting rules and he ain't bringing no money in the house? Matter of fact, who is paying for the law school? Naturally, part of Willie's reaction to Pedro was simple jealousy over having to share me with someone else. Willie had always liked my other boyfriends, and they all liked him. I had never had a serious relationship with a man who didn't spend time with Willie or take him places. First, Willie is a young boy, and you are showing him too much dick. I swear, if I was a mother to a son, my child would never see another man. Never. Because we know Mary Wilson go through ninjas. She get niggas. Like how some men can get bitches, Mary Wilson get ninjas effortlessly. A woman should not be showing her son all the men in her life. Because, y'all can tell me, do y'all think a woman should introduce a man to her son? Like a man wouldn't meet my son unless we've been together. And you might be like, Nay, you doing too much. I'm not doing too much because I know me. I quit a nigga in 2 years just because I don't like him no more. But I would say 2 years. We dating for 2 years. You don't need to be spending the night over my house anyway when I have a child. And then men don't respect bitches like that anyway. That just put their son in front of another man just like that. They don't respect that. So it would take about 2 years. And for those of you who are like, Nay, you might be doing too much. How about this? How about if you come in after my son goes to sleep and before he wakes up in the morning? Or if my son is, at the age where they go out and party and stuff like that. Matter of fact, no, scratch that. Why I can't spend the night over your house? And you should respect the fact that I got children, because I would provide that same courtesy to him if he have daughters. Nah, you can't. No, I'm not about to show my daughters all these women coming through my door. Because then they're not going to have respect for themselves, or it might turn them into bulldaggers. I had never had a serious relationship with a man who didn't spend time with Willie or take him places. Freddie, whom I nearly married just before I met Pedro, flew Willie and his friend Brian to Mardi Gras in New Orleans one year. Had I looked carefully, I'd have seen the first sign of Pedro's violent nature. Instead, all I could see was a man who needed my help, a man who I could love into becoming the person I thought he should and could be. I thought I could love away evil, meanness, awfulness. Sometimes love is not as powerful as you need it to be. You sitting here loving him and he wearing your purse out. and your sister. I knew all the reasons why I shouldn't love him, yet I couldn't stop. By month's end, Pedro and I were back in Hollywood planning our engagement party.